Alright, I probably shouldn't record when I'm angry, but I have to. I am beyond ticked off right now. Because I get into a discussion with somebody on Twitter, and it's about Alan Moore and his Watchmen thing, and I've read little bits and pieces of it. Me personally, and this is my opinion, I think it's a little overrated. That doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad work, but I do think it's a little overrated, and I do think that there are certain things that he put in there that really he did not have to put in there to get his point across, hence why I opt out of reading or watching the whole thing. Now, here's the thing. This is what I love. This is seriously what I just love to hear. Then the guy gets all up on me about censorship and how censoring the man would be wrong because he's expressing the world as he viewed it. First and foremost, if that's seriously how he views the entire world, he needs help. Second of all, if you were to take all the bad in the world, yeah, sure, there's some bad, but there's also some good. Yeah, sure, whatever, okay, yeah. However, to sit there and go friggin' all over with it, let me put it to you this way, okay? First of all, let me explain a little thing to you. There is such a thing called individual responsibility, alright? It is the belief that you are responsible for your actions. You are responsible for what you put out. And because of that, people can hold you accountable for what you put out. Hiding behind I am expressing myself will not always work. And here's why. If you were to take something and slap it on TV, find the most overtly, graphically sexual and disgusting thing you could find, something really nasty, slap it on TV, and say that I'm just expressing myself through this broadcast, there's going to be, first of all, there's going to be public outcry. Second of all, you just exposed a lot of people who definitely should not be seeing that to it. And, I mean, sure, we have certain censorship laws. Now, this is also what I love. None of these laws, if you see what they allow on TV, none of these laws are unreasonable. None of them. Because all they do is they slap certain ratings on there. And people throw a fit then about rating, too. It's ridiculous. But this is beside the point. I mean, look at what they can show in a TVMA show. Okay? TV mature. Look what they can show in there. This is not an unreasonable level of censorship here, people. This is almost the bare minimum. Some people think it's too little. But this is what it is, okay? Now, people look at that, though, as being bad. You shouldn't censor expression. Here's the thing. The only reason these laws exist is because people will not take the responsibility to be appropriate for what they are trying to do. There are people who will sit there and brag. MTV, for example, they have the show out Skins. Now, this is the thing. Everyone keeps talking about how they show all this graphic stuff and, oh, well, it's not going to hurt that. That's bullcrap. Children and teenagers are very easily influenced by media. I reject any notion saying that they're not going to be at all influenced by what they see. But it's more than just being influenced by what they see. It's what's in the show. First of all, they are seriously pushing the envelope with that show, especially considering the fact that the actors themselves, even, some of them are minors. The characters are minors. And they're being portrayed doing some very graphic things. Stuff that might actually violate the law, if you actually examine the law. I'm not going to get into that debate, though. I won't. But, because it's not for me to say, I'm not a legal expert. But, I mean, seriously, they're pushing the envelope there. It's frankly irresponsible. Especially since they are bragging about the fact that they are successfully marketing a show that's rated TV mature to a 12 to 14-year-old demographic. They're proud of the fact that they're having kids watch some of this crap. I mean, there's stuff in there. There's graphic sex in there. There's rape in there. There's drugs in there. There's all kinds of stuff. Okay, and it's a case of, okay, that's all well and good, but do you really need to show all this when there's you can get across that teenagers do some really stupid and crazy crap without going through all that. I mean, they've done it. But, I mean, it's like mostly honest to God, I think they're going for shock value. I really do. And this is something that I have no respect for. People who go for shock value, who throw that stuff in there just to shock someone or horrify someone, you know, frankly, I have no respect for. I don't. And it's just really ticking me off how people don't understand the concept of being responsible. It's why these laws wind up created in the first place. It's why because someone is eventually, unless you learn some sort of responsibility, somebody will way overstep the boundary. It's called checking yourself. For example, I could sit here and I can make a video about any topic, be it about sex, be it about violence and the horrors going on in different places with genocide. I could do that. And I could sit there and tell you about it. I could read you a report on it. I could do whatever. And you know what? Yeah, it might be something that's a little much for younger kids, but you know, whatever. But if I were to sit there and then suddenly, while I'm in the middle of it, show you these sex acts being performed, or show you this graphic stuff of somebody being blown apart, cut into pieces, so on and so forth, that would be irresponsible of me. That would be wrong. That would be disgusting, especially if I did not warn people beforehand that this was going to be in there. Especially if I am purposely trying to say, hey, 12-year-olds, come over here and watch this. You know? No. And if I find out that they are watching it, I'm thinking it's cool, and then I brag about it, then yeah, that is highly irresponsible of me, and somebody somewhere will wind up having to step in. It's an inevitable backlash. It will happen. It's how society works. You can whine and complain if that's about how that being how society does or does not work, but it is. It is what it is. And frankly, you know, I don't blame it. I've told people that there's absolutely nothing wrong with individual responsibility and making certain that you do check yourself before you go ahead and, you know, do whatever. Make certain that people know what the age appropriateness is of something. Make certain, you know, come up with a good system. But people sit there throwing a fit saying that's censorship. No, it's not. Self-censorship is not censorship. In fact, actual censorship is the nth result of not taking personal responsibility for what you do. But it's just upsetting me. But the thing that's really upsetting me here is basically I tell him that because of Alan Moore's stuff that he puts in there, I'm going to pass on reading and watching it, okay? And literally, because I choose what I expose myself to, because I do not feel a desire to read that or watch it based on what all is in there, because I don't think it was necessary to make the point, because I do not really wish to see it, and because frankly overall I'm really not that interested anyway, and knowing that that's in there kind of kills what little interest I did have. I really did not appreciate being called stupid. I really did not appreciate my reasoning being called stupid. I choose what I do and do not watch. If I choose to not watch something, I will not watch it. If I choose not to read something, I will not read it. If I choose to not watch it or read it based on the merit of the content, that is my choice. If I choose not to read it or watch it just because I really don't give a flying frick about it, that's also my choice. And see, that's the thing. If I were just saying, nah, I don't feel like it, blah, 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 nah, you know, that's whatever, you know? Then that might be a stupid reason. When I say that I really don't feel like constantly seeing a large blue penis and gratuitous violence throughout the entirety of the film and the entirety of the comic, then that is my choice. I choose not to expose myself to that content. That, again, is my choice, and it's actually a legitimate choice. It's something that people are always screaming, especially, this is what I love. The anti-censorship crowd always screams, you know what, if you don't like it, don't look at it. If you don't like, fine, then I won't. And guess what? When I do, you throw a fit about that. Why? Why? I can't win with some people anymore. I swear to God, because no matter what my reason is for not reading or not watching something, they will get mad about it. I'm this close to not reviewing things anymore. I really am. Because when I pass on something, people get angry about it.